feel like last season we got a glimpse of the next era of La Liga. In terms of Vele, dog, no matter how you want to put it, it's always going to be Real Madrid versus Barcelona. We're all used to this. Our previous generation were used to this. Atletico Madrid, they're never going to challenge for a title in Spain, bro.
And just as you say that, Atletico Madrid are going to win the league with 120 points, and it's going to be all your fault because
let's be realistic, folks. Real Madrid and Barcelona are two of the biggest clubs in the world. They attract the best players ever. How do you expect puny little Villarreal to... Okay, shut up. Villarreal semi-finalists in the Champions League recently. But how do you expect Athletic Bilbao, Villarreal, Sevilla, Real to even come close to what Real Madrid and Barcelona are?
I think that's just really been the case for the longest time.
It's reality, bro. It's just reality, bro. And it's a La Liga video. We're going to talk about Real Madrid and Barcelona and Atletico Madrid and the rest. And
co.
And co.
A very hot and heavy start to the video.
But it's fair. I don't want any comments. Hey, why you guys only focusing on the league? The whole league has quality. Everyone knows that. Some of the best players from the top teams in the world have picked players from these teams. But let's be honest, folks. The crux of the conversation is going to be the big three. And let's start with the champions. Barcelona. They narrowly missed out in the Champions League against Inter Milan. That hurt. But they swept in Spain, winning the domestic treble. And they have the best player in the world, in my opinion. They look scary, bro. They look scary.
I think the momentum from last season, and I think they had that weird patch towards the end of last season where they were just like, drawing weird games and just like, getting behind and having to constantly come back in games, and you're just thinking to yourself, how long is it going to be? This hot and heavy football, is it going to be sustainable? Like juggling Champions League, juggling all of it. And I mean, they managed to do it. Obviously, Champions League towards the end didn't work out, but the momentum going into the season, they just look like the best team. They look like they have the best players. They look like they have the best coach. Everything just looks like it's pointing in their direction. And obviously, they're another team that I'd say they haven't in the transfer window. Obviously, they haven't really needed to update or.
Also, they've had financial restrictions too. Let's not forget that.
But I mean, they cleared their debt, didn't they? Or is that
they haven't?
But not yet, not completely. Okay. But but fair enough. I'd say even beyond that,
they even had to fake a Stegen had to say his injury is long term so that they can register the new goalkeeper Garcia.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing as well. I think that's even why they weren't able to get the Williams brother.
The Williams.
Nico Williams. Yeah, because of the fact that But in any case, on the football field, we just know that they have probably one of the best players. I'd say two of the best players from last season.
Yeah.
Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, 100%, and Pedri.
Yeah.
And again, those players, they still look fit. Obviously, their preseason, they played a lot of like Asian teams, so not a lot to go off of from that point of view.
They went at the Club World Cup.
And they were not at the Club World Cup. That's another thing. Funny enough, we're gonna get to that point. But for me, off the bat, I genuinely, and again, we are very much Madrid fan. We are Madrid affiliated.
Yeah.
We're not shy about that. But we can both say, Barca look like they're probably gonna sweep this as well this season. I don't know.
I don't know about sweep because I'm looking at Real Madrid's first few fixtures.
Okay.
Going into this season, I feel like if we can just open a gap in these games. I'm looking at Osasuna at home. Real Oviedo, newly promoted, Santi Cazorla's team. Mallorca. Real Sociedad. It's not the same Real Sociedad. Obviously, Zubimendi's gone. Odegaard's gone. Mikel Merino's gone.
Yeah.
It's not the same Real Sociedad. Espanyol. Levante. Then it's the derby. We have 6 games where you can literally be 18 points. Six games played, 6 wins.
I think with La Liga, especially with these teams, the biggest, main with the big two is what are they doing in Europe? I think that's the one thing that you also have to consider as well.
Yeah.
Where are they in Europe? What are they doing? Who are they playing? Because I think that could also, I'd say maybe they're used to it at this point.
Yeah.
But in terms of just on the team perspective alone, I just feel like on paper, Barca just look like such a settled team. And because there's a lot of continuity, it's all the same players. They've added a few here or there, a few pieces just to kind of add, but it's mostly the same the same core of players.
Yeah.
And same coach, everything. And I think going into the season, compared to their counterparts, who I think we can just touch on, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
New coach. They've gotten a new coach. I'd say they also haven't really. I'd say obviously Dean Howson was a very good signing. He looks like an absolutely incredible player. Obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold, another player as well, who I think can be a great addition when used correctly.
Yeah.
But again, Xabi Alonso is kind of going into the season figuring out what is the best way. Is the team going to be able to integrate themselves into his style of play off the bat? Because now, as you're saying, our first 6 games are on paper winnable games.
Yeah.
Winnable games that you can say by the time we get to the derby, we know that the derby is its own animal in its own. But by that point, would you say we'd have probably 18 points?
18 points, yeah.
Maybe, would you say close to 18 points by then? Maybe. I think that's just obviously Club World Cup. We got a snippet of what we can expect. We saw a lot of good.
Yeah.
We also saw a lot of not so great. I think defensively calamitous in a lot of instances. Even before the PSG game, I'd say a lot of instances where, once again, our hero, our Superman Courtois had to come through. And I'm just wondering to myself how that's going to look like. I think for you, just off the bat, do you think that Xabi Alonso will be looking at the season as a way to say, I want to win La Liga immediately, I can win La Liga? Or is it a thing of just saying, let's solidify, let's create, let's move away from the we must suffer mentality, and let's become a team that impose themselves. Let's win games. Let's not just rely on individual moments all the time. Because I think that was something that we always used to say, the fact that Madrid relied a bit too much always on just individual magic, moments of magic.
Yeah.
Instead of cohesive team getting us over the line.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's why you'd have the weird away games at Espanyol where you just kind of the random draw, or just a cheeky win against, and you know what I mean. I don't know for you. If you're Xabi Alonso, what do you think he because that's an interesting thing to think about as well.
But it's Real Madrid. You are expected to win, bro. Every competition that you're in, you are expected to challenge and win. Right. So I feel like Xabi Alonso has to do everything that you mentioned with the intention of, I want to win La Liga, I want to be the champion of Spain. Also in the Champions League, he has to challenge for that. But I see getting the team playing in a cohesively, having a set playing style, having a set starting 11, not relying on individual quality.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem that he has is the superstars, bro. Getting Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. on song, playing for the team. That's what Xabi Alonso has to sort out, because they are 2 of the best players in the world, and they will clash at times.
I think again, a lot of times we saw too many instances where I think you can already imagine the visual that I'm going to paint out for you.
Yeah.
Vinny is running into space. He's past his man. Mbappe is running into space. He's right there.
Yeah.
And you're just just lay the ball. Just lay the ball.
Yeah.
Lay the ball. He takes a shot. And we lose out on the opportunity.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was a very, if you're a Madrid fan, you already see this visual of Vinny constantly running, bombing down, and just kind of... And it was just those types of stuff that obviously towards the end of the season, they kind of worked a bit better. Obviously, Mbappe found his own, the different contingent that I can say. Mbappe is going into the season with a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
I think he knows, he's a lot more assured about his role in the team.
He's got the number 10.
He's got the number 10 now. And I think, again, to be fair, Mbappe, he took Vinny's chain last season. Towards the end of last season, he took his chain. And I think for Vinny as well, if that can be, as you're saying, if those 2 can kind of work with one another, that team benefits tenfold. Obviously, it would be healthy competition if they can just go band for band with each other.
But I think I'm looking at Vinicius Jr. He has to be the one who steps up in terms of looking at his form in the past 18 months, in the past 12 months. He hasn't been great. He has to step up his performance levels, but also for the team, bro. You saw the combination that he created with Benzema. Imagine doing that with
Kylian
Mbappe right now. So I feel like he has to step up too. But defense, Real Madrid conceded the most goals ever in a single season last season. Plus 60 goals. That has never happened, ever. Yes, there were injuries at the back. Yes, Rudiger was overplayed through his knee injury. We even had to put Uchuamin into the back line. But now you have Eden Militao there, recovering from 2 ACL injuries, bro. Like, that's phenomenal. He's going to be sort of like a new signing. Dean Howson, new defensive signing, one of the best young defenders in the world right now. You have Rudiger. That's experience, that's a winner, that's a defender who has been there and done that. And now we're looking at the young players who are coming in. Asensio. He's been shaky for the past 6 months.
Club World Cup was not his best.
Yeah.
But not his best. I think Club World Cup, it showed his age.
Yeah.
It showed that he's still very young, and I hope that would be the learning curve for him. I think in the sense of, just to say, unfortunately at Madrid, you're not young. If you play, you play as a Real Madrid player. They don't look at you and say, oh, he's 18. Those fans, they'll whistle at you no matter what. And I think that's also another aspect to think about in the sense of, now that we're bringing in this new style of play, we're going to have that back three. We need a solidified back three that's going to be able to kind of be the stewards to allow the team to kind of bomb forward, because we know we play a very high line. I know Xabi Alonso is a crazy madman. He loves to play very high, has a very intense style of play that's very... And I think from a defensive point of view, I'd say I think we will concede less goals.
Yeah.
I think, again, as I said, we're moving away from this Safa mentality.
Yeah.
Let us control games. Let us be more front forward and just kill games from the first half, and not just have to, and even against the big teams as well, just kind of, go at it. And obviously I'm hopeful that the transition that we had last season, like in the sense of like we had a very slow start last year because we were still figuring out how to play. I think maybe that contingent, maybe it's gone, in the sense of, because everyone is kind of like, we don't have any major new signings that need to be integrated into the team.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, I'd say, just to kind of like hoop my prediction, I do feel like Madrid will do well. I think we will play much better. I think obviously when Jude is back, when everyone is kind of settled as well, I think we will do well. But I'm still gonna have to pivot to Barca, I think.
I don't know, bro. I'm looking at Barcelona. They just lost one of their best defenders, Inigo Martinez, to Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one too.
So who's gonna marshal that back line now? Kubasi is young.
Kubasi is very young, and Araujo he's not he's on his day. I'd say he was back in like 2 years ago. You would have said Araujo 100%, but obviously I don't know. Could this be his opportunity to step up? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that could be another thing that we could probably look at. But I just think as well, just from an attacking point of view, I think again, adding the likes of Marcus Rashford, could be really great in terms of from that squad depth. I think Rafinha, that he will want to really solidify that this wasn't a fad. This wasn't just a season wonder type of thing. I am that guy. Lamine Yamal, there's nothing more to say. Number 10, that's just football heritage.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, for me, I just feel like the momentum going into this new season is in Barca's favor. I think obviously that first Clasico will be very tasty.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting. But I think both teams' first couple of fixtures are going to be very telling.
Yeah.
I think Madrid have the edge in terms of a lot more, like, not as tricky fixtures, most probably. I don't know. But yeah, I think for me, I'd say I'm going to give Barca the edge as the champions, and probably, I think...
I'm going to give it to Madrid, bro.
You reckon?
Honestly,
okay.
I just feel like La Liga has had this... I wouldn't even be surprised if Atletico Madrid just turn up and win it this season.
As I was saying,
like, since the 2020s, you would have noticed a pattern that teams don't usually go back to back in La Liga.
Yeah.
Teams don't don't do that. Hence, I was saying, like, with Barca, they're at the back.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Araujo, can they keep the clean sheets? Yes, they will score, but at times, bro.
That high line again, that high line, Hansi Flick, he's not going to relent. He's not going to He's gonna keep that highlight. We've seen it already this season, and we know Inter has shown when you exploit it, they can be got at. So, but I think they're a type of team. They're just like, hey,
you score
they score 2, we score 3.
Yeah.
You score 4, we score 5. Will they be able to sustain that? We will see.
We will see.
But yeah.
But moving on to Atletico Madrid, hey, they made a lot of signings, bro. Mina, I have this opinion.
Okay.
It's about time we start holding Atletico Madrid to the same standard, because they're the only team that has sort of like got close to what Barcelona and Real Madrid are
in terms
Spain.
of constantly being in the Champions League, always being like qualifying for the Champions League, and quality of players that they attract, like high wage bill, and again, like I do agree with
spending spree, bro. Diego Simeone last season title challenge 3-horse race, then he cheats out. No noise on Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, they're just like, that's what they do. They're just like, you see, random away loss to Real Betis. I think that's always been their thing. When they play well, they play really well.
Yeah.
But then there's just those weird games where you're just like, okay, what happened?
But when are they gonna be held accountable, bro? When are they gonna be held accountable? Because every window, bro, since the turn of the decade, they've been splashing.
You feel like Simeone there needs to be a lot more of a like an hourglass in the sense of he's always backed.
Yeah.
He's always given a war chest. He's always given patience. It's his team. This is his club, and he does whatever he wants. And everything that happens is on him, wins and losses as well.
But now come on, you have to deliver, dog. A small Copa del Rey bro.
Yeah, especially last season as well. I think, no.
Come on, like now they added Giacomo Raspadori, great addition from Napoli. He's gonna be replacing Juan Correa, who wasn't even a starter, dog. You already have Sorloth there. You already have Griezmann. You already have Alvarez, Raspadori on top. More depth for you. They have Hanko. Atletico Madrid will always have top defenders.
Yeah.
Another one on top there, just to see. Johnny Cardoso, Rodrigo de Paul has left to Inter Miami to join Lionel Messi.
A big player who's left again. Yeah. That's going to be a big hole to fill. Regardless of how you feel about him, he was a very solidified part of that midfield for a very long time. So it's going to be interesting, that transition of how he's going to be able to kind of, because I mean he did well at Betis, especially during that run going into the Conference League final. But obviously we don't know. We just don't know. Yeah.
And now Johnny Cardoso was one of the best midfielders amongst those crop of teams that are fighting for European places. You're scooping one of the best talents in LaLiga. You're putting him into your team.
Yeah.
Alejandro Baena, Villarreal's attacking output. He was Villarreal's, he's the one who connected him, Nicolas Pepe, and Barry up front. They were the ones who were cooking for Villarreal, leading them to a Europa League place. And you take him.
They've had a really good window, I'd say.
Bro.
I'd say out of the two big teams, they didn't really need to buy a plethora. I think for them, because again they had a pretty aging squad again, so they needed to probably get into the market. And
Thiago Almada, Argentina, one of the best talents in Argentina, signed him from Botafogo, but he was on loan from on Olympic Lyon, and you sign him. More attacking depth. I feel like it's time now for
them
to at least mount like a 35 game challenge. But going into 35 games.
So you're saying that let it not be by the time we get to April. It's just like Europe. Yeah. Okay.
Come on.
I like that holding them accountable. I think that's going to be very.
Because they're a big team, bro.
They are.
They should be held accountable as 100%. One. But looking at their season, it seems like it's another short bronze medal, bro.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can't put it like. Unfortunately, we wish we could just be like, maybe they could.
Yeah.
I mean, this transfer window is exciting, and I think maybe first 5 games, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Let's see how the derby. Let's see how that goes. How they look against Madrid. But yeah, I think from that regard, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But now I'm looking at the fourth place. Yeah, there, Villarreal, Real Betis, and Athletic Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao keeping Nico Williams.
Massive. That's a huge, massive. I think that's probably that's the biggest signing that they could do this summer.
Yeah.
I think with everyone expecting Nico, they just knew, that's just obvious. You
Yeah.
know, Lamal, Nico, Spain, Barca, it's one shot, boom, he stays. And you're like, okay, wow, that means you really want to be, you are the guy now.
Yeah.
Officially, you are the guy at this team. And I mean, we know when he's given the reins, he's an absolute like monster. He's, you know, so, and I'm just wondering to myself, I'm like, Athletic Club are a team that, you know, they're not necessarily gonna like push the big teams, but they will always play well. They'll always beat the teams that they need to.
They got close, bro, last season.
Okay, to be
They
fair, I
got
think
really, 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 really close. Because I'm looking at the log, ne?
Mm-hmm.
I think they just finished how many points behind Atletico Madrid?
But I think Atletico Madrid they fell off
Yeah.
massively towards the end of the season. I'd say, to be fair,
They did.
yeah, they massively. So, but I do understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. You still have to be able to kind of win the games and win the points that you
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
But I'm looking at their team. Sunset, he will always bring in the goals. Nico Williams and Iñaki, they will always be attacking threats.
Mm-hmm.
Ernesto Valverde, I feel like his experience in La Liga,
as well,
will help them. I feel like I'm looking at them as favorites for fourth place, even though Villarreal have been like steadily putting
I'd say it's
themselves.
between the two of them most probably, because I would have loved to have said Betis, but I think they've lost. Obviously, they lost the GOAT himself, Anthony.
Yeah.
And I think Isco, he's going to be out for the first 3 months of the season, which is massively. Obviously, they lost Victor Roque last season also, so.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, I would have loved to have said maybe, but I think most probably it's going to be between Athletic Club and Villarreal.
And my surprise package personally, Celta Vigo.
Okay.
I feel like Celta signing Brian Zaragoza from Bayern.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Experience of Iago Aspas, Iglesias up front. I feel like they're gonna be there top 6, top 7. They're gonna be challenging there. They're usually a mid-table club.
Usually.
Most of the time. But I feel like now they're gonna take that step up and go back to playing in Europe.
Thanks.
And relegation, I don't know. Why do I feel like Girona, their time in the top flight is done?
I mean, they had a horrible, tough season. I think in comparison to what they did the 2 seasons ago, they had a very underwhelming season. Got bounced in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Obviously, no European football this year. You know, they haven't really made any significant signings on what they did last year. So I don't know. I think obviously Real Oviedo. I'm sorry.
I feel like
I'm sorry.
Santi
I'm sorry.
Like, in the league.
I'm sorry, but you know, and who else? Okay, who's taking that third spot? Because I think we're kind of in the same wavelength in terms of probably. I'd say I'm gonna.
I don't know. I just Espanyol always find a way.
I think Espanyol. I think they'll be okay. I think
Do you think Elche? I feel like Elche.
I was about to say between Elche and Levante. Obviously, again, it's different with La Liga teams in terms of you never know. There's those teams who just are really bad from the get go, and then those teams that just kind of surprise you off the bat. So obviously, we're just going off of what we think might happen.
Levante, evil Barca. I feel like they're staying. I feel like they're staying.
Okay.
I feel like they're staying.
All right.
They're back.
Okay.
I'm picking Real Oviedo, Elche, and unfortunately Girona, bro.
Tough. But I guess that's fair.
I feel like Girona. The team is just getting weaker and weaker, bro.
Yeah. All right. Fine. So with that being said, okay, now we sort of have in terms of, you said your surprise package is Celta Vigo.
Celta Vigo.
Who are you giving player of the season to? Who do you think will be the MVP going into at the end of the season for you?
Kylian Mbappe.
Oh really?
I feel like Kylian
over. Okay. For you, do you feel like this is gonna be his season now, where he fully just cements himself for the rest of his Madrid career? You'd like to think.
Honestly, I just feel like he's gonna take the league by storm, bro, this season, which he did last season.
Okay.
But obviously, Madrid went the powerhouse that they were. But still, I feel like he's only gonna improve. And with Gula in midfield, Vini, if he takes that creator role for him, serious, I feel like they're gonna be deadly. They're gonna be deadly, bro.
I don't know. For me, man, I'm gonna take it to Catalonia.
Yeah.
Marcus Rashford. I'm joking. I'm kidding. No, Lamine Yamal. I think getting the number 10. He already feels he's already on top of the world.
Yeah.
He's already there. And I think as someone who went through 2 massive losses last season, losing in the semi-final, losing in the Nations League,
yeah,
that's big character building. Because I think as good as he was, there was a lot in his game that he still can improve in. Because he's still 19 now, 19, 18.
Yeah, he's 19.
So I just feel like the world is his oyster. I think at the end of the day, he's just really gonna be that guy for the La Liga. I think he's the face of La Liga right now.
Yeah.
So him and Kylian are basically the 2 faces of the league, and I think it's between the two the battle of the number 10.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be very interesting, but I think I can't put it past him. I genuinely cannot.
I would also be surprised, especially if Barca go on to win the title. But yeah, I think that was our review of what we expect to happen in Spanish football this season.